Hey everyone, how's everyone doing? It's Jen Fontanella, your money coach here. I wanted to just greet everybody. Hope your week's been going great. I can't believe how fast time is flying. It's crazy. I feel like 2019 has just gone by like it's been 2 months. So I'm sure you feel the same way. Anyhow, so for some of you who have seen, who saw me talk yesterday, I'm just excited to talk about the upcoming book that I've been working on for the past, oh my goodness, I don't know, year and a half on and off. I'm finally at the tail end stages, and my book is coming out pretty soon. Pre-sale launch is going to be next Friday for Black Friday, and it is called Do Before I Do. And it's how to have open conversations about money, avoid fights and breakups, and create a blissful financial future together. And who wouldn't want that? So if you are planning on getting married or in a serious relationship, even for individuals, I think the information that I cover is really thorough, and it's really to just start to get people thinking about, what are the things about money that we haven't talked about? Because all too often, many times, and it's important that you're in love, and it's important that there's a lot of things that are taken into consideration. But I think a lot of times the thing that is overlooked is, are you financially compatible? And so, over the course of the next few days, I want to cover different areas of the book just to give you a taste and a flavor to see, what is it about? And basically, every chapter covers a different section about finances. And it's also going to cover different questions, that can start the conversation and whatnot. So anyhow, but today what I wanted to talk about are 3 ways to prepare your mindset to have the money conversation. So the first one is, are you open-minded and ready to be on board? So what do I mean by that? A lot of times, either one of the partners doesn't want to talk about money. And so, this also is, somebody that says like, my husband, or, I'll hear this a lot when I'm in certain appointments with clients, or prospects. It'll be like, oh, they take care of it. Oh, she handles all the money, or he takes care of all that stuff. And I cringe when I hear that, because in my head I'm thinking, so you just let the other person assume full responsibility. And I guess that works, for some people. Some people may say like, oh, well, that's how it works for us. But the thing that scares me in that situation is that if something were to happen, if one of the especially the partner who was taking care of everything, should they pass away, what is that other person, the surviving partner, the surviving spouse, what are they going to do? It's like all of a sudden, think about it, at work, you train the next person that's coming in, and what happens when that doesn't happen? You have a massive disruption, right? You're like, oh, so-and-so took care of that, I don't know how to do it. So if you can imagine in somebody's household, all of a sudden that person that was taking care of everything is gone. Now what? Or, there's massive confusion, you don't know what to do, it's disruption, and there's a learning curve, or you don't even know what to do. And so, I encourage both people involved, you need to be both on the same page. You need to be on board. You need to understand, do you also have the capacity and the mindset to be willing to learn? Are you willing to be financially literate about what's going on in both of your lives as well as your own? So, I want to encourage that, because it's really difficult, when both of you don't know what's going on. And when you keep deferring it to the other person, that puts all the financial responsibility on that person, and you're pretty much helpless. And so, I want you to, if you're not in that place where you are willing to learn, know that there's resources, know that there's a lot of help out there. There are a lot of people out there that can help you understand how the money works, how to manage it. There's so many resources. There's no excuse that you can't learn this, because it may seem daunting, it may seem difficult, but it's not. Okay, there's a lot of help out there. So I want you to stay encouraged. The second thing is, I want you to stop thinking that money is a taboo subject. One of the things that I think is great nowadays is that more and more people are talking about money. I think it's one of those topics that, but in some cases it still seems taboo. But I want to also encourage you to not feel that, oh, you shouldn't talk about it, oh, I shouldn't ask, that's rude. Because let me tell you something. This is one thing I I really strongly believe in. I really believe that people need to be proactive versus reactive. I'll give you some examples, especially when there's a death involved. When, I talk about this in the book in the later chapters about being prepared and preparing, your estate planning and insurance and things like that. Those are things that are, unfortunately that happen. But what happens is like you don't know what to do at that point. Things weren't prepared, and then now you're trying to scramble. What do we do? And that conversation never took place. And so I think it's really, really important to get out of that mindset that, oh, we shouldn't talk about this. Oh, that's rude. No, it's not even so much that it's rude. It's almost like you need to reframe the perspective that it's so important that you need to talk about this. The fact that you don't talk about the money jeopardizes your future situation. There's so many things that get impacted. I mean, think of how your lives get impacted when one of you loses a job. I've been there before. I know what it feels like. You're just like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? You're scrambling, but you don't want to be in that situation. So you always want to be, you want to be in a situation where you have the exit plan. You know what to do in case something happens. And so I encourage you to have an open mind to like, okay, this is safe to talk about this. And I talk about that as well in the book, about how to create those conversations, how to create a safe and trusting environment so that you feel okay to talk about it, you feel good, you don't feel insecure, and how do you help your partner feel that, okay, this is going to be safe and I'm not going to feel attacked or blamed, because that's so key to be able to create that environment where you can have that conversation, that you can be open and willing to share, your fears, your thoughts, and especially your past. Some people have gone through either traumatic experiences, or some people have gone through, difficult childhood upbringing, and that's some of the things I go through with, the money coaching, is understanding where people came from, whether it was their upbringing, how did, they what kinds of things they learned, whether it was from their mom or their dad or whoever they grew up with. All those things affect us psychologically and when it comes to how we treat our money and the choices we make. So, and the third one is, this one I think is really important for you to understand, is that you need to stop blaming yourself and stop judging yourself, and that you are not your past mistakes. I think too often a lot of us live in the past, or we hang on to, oh my gosh, I messed up, and then you start to feel this unworthiness and all kinds of, guilt and shame, and that's not a place that you want to operate in. And, for some of you that understand energy, it's a very, very low vibration level, and you don't want to stay there or be there. And, I'm not saying, forget it, but, you have to move forward, and you have to have this perspective of like, you know what? I feel empowered. I feel that I have the knowledge. I'm equipped to make future decisions that are going to be right for me, right for us, right for our family. And I'm willing to learn and grow from the mistakes, rather than continue to stay in the past and continue thinking about like, gosh, I messed this up, I'm so stupid. You think about it, if you had a really, really good friend and they were going through that, let's say they went through a really, really bad experience and it caused, a lot of financial hardship, a lot of financial mistakes, and they're in a really bad position or whatnot, and they told you this, right? Because they're really, really down on themselves, and they tell you this, would you look at your friend and go like, oh my gosh, yeah, you are such a freaking loser? Absolutely not, right? You would never tell it your friend. You would be encouraging, right? You would be saying like, look, it's okay. You're going to recover from this. It's going to be fine. You're going to get the help that you need. This is not the end of the world, right? You would be so loving and so encouraging, right? But then why do we do it to ourselves? Isn't that crazy? And so, along with thinking about this, you have to bring in the self-awareness, the self-love, self-care, because it's not good for us to attack ourselves. So one of the things I want to say about this point is that you cannot live in the past. Learn from it, grow from it, take the lessons that you need, implement the steps and the different things that you need in order to move forward from it and improve your situation. However, that doesn't mean that you need to pile on the guilt and the shame, because you're not going to move forward from that space, and that's not the way to, progress and move forward and improve the financial situation. So let me just recap real quick. So the first one is, are you open-minded and ready to be on board? The second one is, stop thinking that money is a taboo subject. And finally, the third, last but not least, you are not defined by your past mistakes. So those are my 3 things for tonight. Again, the book is going on pre-sale next Friday, on Black Friday. And I'm going to be talking about in the next few days about some of the bonuses and things you'll get if you order during the Black Friday weekend. I'm super excited. Also, if you have not already gone to dobeforeido.com, make sure you go there. Get your freebie on 5 ways to manage your money together. That's a simple freebie download. You can get it at the site. You'll find this pink arrow. Just click below. And with that, good night. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll check in with you guys. Thanks.